Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Today, we're going to be talking about inspiring learning environments. But first, a little bit of follow-up from your last assignment, which was to start reading Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. So you can go ahead and start doing that if you haven't already. So today's topic, inspiring learning environments. There are two aspects to the learning environment. One is emotional and the other is physical. And so we're going to talk about the emotional first. Emotion is the gatekeeper of intelligence. And what that means is that our brains are wired to when we're feeling happy and relaxed and we're in an alert state and ready to learn, our minds are open and we are far more capable of learning things when we are feeling good about ourselves, as opposed to being in a stressful environment. In traditional schools, you might have angry teachers, bullies, and the stress over passing grades. All of these things cause stress on a child frequently and can cause their brain to actually shut down. When you feel stress, your brain goes into fight or flight mode, and you're less able to think clearly and to learn. You're thinking with your lower brain instead of your higher brain, the higher functioning brain. So for this reason, it's very important that we make sure that we have emotionally safe learning environments. And I show this picture of the kids at a playground because it's been said that children are in a better position to learn when they're on the playground than when they're in the classroom, because that's when they're feeling good. That's when they're feeling happy. Their bodies are actually moving. And with that movement comes the better opportunity for them to be able to learn. So that's why we want our children to be actively involved in learning as much as possible. We're not talking about passively putting them on worksheets or online learning programs. And when a child feels emotionally safe, they're far more likely to take an interest in the things that they're learning, to read on their own, to have curiosities about things and want to know more about things. It is all part of the environment that we're creating to be able to bring kids into that wonderful, magical place where they take the lead in their learning. So about the physical environment, we want to have it to be a calming environment. And so when the learning environment is cluttery, at the little picture of the cluttered on the top where there's a child sitting in the chair, this is what a lot of homeschoolers' homes look like. We tend to collect a lot of things, and we're so busy doing so many things, we end up just shoving them on shelves because you don't know when you're going to need them, and so you just have them there. But it's not a great environment to be learning in when it's very cluttered. And the second picture, just showing a messy living room. This is, again, when there's clutter, it helps to clutter up the mind. So it's a good idea to just have your kids help you tidy up before the learning day begins, so that there's less things to get in the way of the learning process. And I'm going to say, don't do this. Traditional schools tend to overcrowd the walls and put everything up there because everything's so exciting and everything is so important. But the reality is, when you put so many things up on the walls, it really reduces the importance of each of those items on the wall. If you want to teach one concept, put it up there, but you can't teach everything all at once. It's way too much input, way too loud. It doesn't look nice. It helps contribute to that feeling of stress throughout. So don't do it at home, right? Let's try to have an environment that's a lot more calming, an environment that just the kids want to snuggle in and grab a book and go from there, and where they feel comfortable, they're at ease, and it's relaxing and contributes to that relaxed feel where they can just enjoy the learning process. Then next. Also, if you want to, you can include your themes in your decorations. Two represented here, the one on the top is from our Harry Potter year, and the one below is from our Leonardo da Vinci year. Now, I've done some things in our home before. Because I was always doing the classes outside of our home with the other families, really decorate our home much, except for our very first year when we did a 80 days theme. I got a calendar that had a whole bunch of hot air balloons in it. And then so I covered an entire wall with all these pictures of hot air balloons. And so it it was kind of cluttery and it was kind of a lot, but maybe the kids enjoyed it. And we put up some of the schoolwork and the key points that we learned throughout the year were put up on that wall as well to make it a rich environment. An actual room from a friend of mine, and one of my friends that introduced me to the thematic learning approach. She used to have these, I'm an artist, okay? Let's just say that not everybody is going to do this. Maybe you don't have the space, maybe you don't have the time, maybe you don't have the creativity. That's okay. You don't have to, but I'm saying what's possible. So it appears as though this particular year, the children were studying, they did a Hollywood theme. And so she dressed it up with stars, with cameras, with movie posters, and an immersive environment for the children to learn in. What's something really cool about her also, she would close off that room so the kids couldn't go in there while she was decorating it. She would not tell them what the New Year's theme was going to be. And she would have this great reveal at the beginning of the year with the theme and music and food and just a lot of excitement surrounding it, new school supplies, and it's like Christmas, just the kids, there's just so much excitement. So that's one of the things you can do by creating the right environment for your kids. It becomes, it's like kids are they want to start before you even have the chance to get everything out, telling them about everything. It's just so exciting. So also it's great to put up is little bits of the child's work. The things that are up on the wall help things that they're learning. Again, not overly cluttered, but the children to have some work up on the wall. It shows that you value their work if you put it up on the wall and display it. I've seen some people actually get frames just from the dollar store or whatever, frame the kids' stuff, have it up there for a few weeks and put something else up there and change it out. And so they have everybody have to show and have an appreciation for the things that the child did. Also, having some things up on the wall that they have already learned, but maybe it's a concept that you want them to remember for longer, put it up on the wall and serve to remind them, and as their mind recalls it as they pass it each day. Then you're going to want to have basic school supplies in your home, like a journal, scissors, construction paper, markers. For writing, my favorite is using a journal instead of just like blank paper. We'll talk about that more in our writing session. I don't remember what it is. Anyway, I also want to introduce you to a method called strewing. This is when you have certain schools are just for the children to explore, to just sitting in your home. Now, this isn't going to be cluttery, but it's going to be just things here and there, and you'll change them out from time to time. So you'll have some books, some math games or counters, some Legos or building blocks, some craft supplies. Just a variety of things that will inspire them to want to try to read, create, build, solve on the time. Just because it's there, they'll want to interact with it. But yet, I encourage you to still keep it simple. We don't want to get the cluttery feeling, right? Let's just things at a time. Change those out every week or two. New, and so like maybe Legos out this week, but you'll put wooden blocks out next week. Something new, something interesting for them to discover and try and interact with. So that's it. So I want you to have fun with it. So let me go off the presentation with you. What is for this coming week or till the next session? Of course, is to set up your space. Get that your learning space. If it's your whole home, that's fine. Get your school space in a closet instead of sitting out in the living room everywhere. And those choice things out that you want your children to discover. And because we're kind of running Alice in Wonderland theme through this training, here are some suggestions for you to have in your environment for your kids. So how about some books on animals? You can get some from the library, or maybe you want to purchase some that are their favorite to just have there for them to reference throughout a component. Have a poetry corner where you just have this little section of space where your kids are encouraged to write. There's some special papers, some special pencils, and environment. And because there's a lot of poetry in Alice in Wonderland, right? So that'd be appropriate. Or also a deck of cards. Have a deck of cards on hand for the children to just experiment with and play with. There are tons of math games that you can play with a deck of cards. And here's a fun one that I thought it was a cool room, but whatever you create on a wall, like a bush, and put print out some pictures of white roses and put that on there, and then let the kids paint them red, right? That's an Alice in Wonderland thing. So, done with it. And really, that's all I have for today. The next session is going to be step 2 of the 5-part Reignite Learning process. Is it? And I look forward to go in our community what your learning space looks like. We can with one another, and I'd love to see what you guys come up with. All right. Until next time. Bye.